Good morning, good afternoon, wherever we find you. We hope you're well. So, looks like we're going to have a gap in the gap. So, looks like right now, I mean, we still have 15 minutes, but if we were to open here, we're going to open on a gap up and we will open in the gap from the gap down 2 days ago. So, not 2 days ago, yesterday. So, remember in the last couple of months, sometimes we had gaps down, but they didn't fill right away. Let's see if this one fills today, right? I would suggest you do have another cup of coffee, Seymour, right? I've got my cost basis. I'm in 8 times cost basis now, right? I'm in 8 times cost. If we start breaking up over here and go sideways, I'll redraw it. For now, I'll just leave it alone. I usually don't like to go past 8, right? So I've got up to 59 and a half. You're welcome to use my zones if you want. The levels have been working. Um, you know, I haven't read the news. Leslie says this is something to do with the bond auction or something like that. I or bond repurchase. So I think it's because they're bringing back the McRib. No, just joking. I have no idea. But I do know that we ran out of inventory under 77.27. And we did run out of inventory, whereas that constant seller at 1920, all frickin' session. Now we're above that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take yesterday's inventory and tonight's inventory, and we are going to distribute it up here for profit. Now, if that brings in buying, we're looking at this acceptance over 77.52. I would expect the market to go between yesterday's high and our overnight high, like this, while we distribute this over here. That is probably the most reasonable scenario. You guys with me? And you will need a little bit more coffee for this one. I just made some, and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon here. But I think I'm going to need it for RTH, right? Globex was pretty sleepy until a little while ago when it just spiked. Now we have a saying in this trading room, a trading syndicate. And the saying is this market has an annoying habit. Oops, sorry. As I destroy the cabinets in the house. This market has an annoying habit of running out of supply just when everyone starts to get short and really starts feeling comfortable shorting, right? Click, the supply just shuts off. Now, we've had this trading room open for 7 years now, right? So those of you who have been with me since the COVID days and even before, right, you will know what happens when supply shuts off and everyone is short. Right, we're talking everybody, his dog, the guy who walks his dog, the guy who washes the dog, right? They're all short. And what we're doing now is we're looking for bids pre-market. Okay? If you're not comfortable with market profile, you can use a half-hour candle chart. You could see very clearly that all of the supply is under 77.40. So if this retraces, you'll look for bids at 40, and then you'll be looking for bids at 28 on larger time frames, right? It is a big crazy spike. Remember, what is tomorrow? What is next week? Not tomorrow, right? Next week is month end, right? It's month end going into September. And remember, what do we have in September? So we have next week, and then we have month end going into a dun 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 holiday long weekend, right? Labor Day. That's the week after, isn't it? Is it Friday off that we have the 4th? You guys should know this on the tips of your fingers, right? Those of you who are looking at settlements, none? Anyway, so what happens to markets before they go into holiday long weekend and roll over afterwards, right? Nobody wants to be short this old contract, right? Going into those events where liquidity dries up. You do not want to be short size when liquidity is drying up. That is difficult for size traders because when they go to cover, look what happens. So this move started as soon as we took out 19. As soon as we took the 19s, the short covering started. And as soon as any kind of size came in, the order book just started to thin out. The offers just disappeared like cockroaches in a New York apartment when you turn on the lights at 3 in the morning. Now we know the bid is down here at 39.5 pre-open. Okay, so let's go dig in, right? Yeah, because if you see buyers, what are you going to try and do, Milo, right? Yeah, if you could sell something for $5 or sell it at 3, what are you going to do? Hey, James, I just explained why we have those big candles. Because large orders came into the order book and there was not enough liquidity to fill them at the price at lower prices. So price spikes up higher. So if you go into the market at 77.23 and you try and buy 5,000 contracts because you're panic buying, because you have to cover or you have to get an order in there, everybody is going to pull the price up on you. Does that make sense? So if you know there's a really desperate buyer, will you raise price or lower price? That's the reason. How would you trade the inner levels different than the edge? Carefully. Measure twice, cut once. Okay, Pollux? So, if you've been doing your homework that we gave you 2 months ago, Pollux, what have you been doing? You should have been watching the offer, right? You should be marking off where the sellers are. This is perfectly tradable, right? You can trade this. I don't suggest a new trader trade it. I suggest they watch. But Pollux, you know what you're doing. You're shorting 77.50, 51 stop. Where you bid 47. See what you're doing? If it takes out the 47s, go bid 45 half. Put your bids in if you're short, right? You're short, you're stop. Bid, 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 bid. Get it? Very tradable. But you need to know where the sellers are before you start doing business. Right? So overnight inventory now is quite long. We're opening in a gap, on a gap. So we have sort of opposing forces. Pollux, you with me? Give me a sign. Is there a pulse? Cool. Cool. So what you want to do off of this opening, you want to see if if you get a nice little distribution balance and you can trade that. Right now, it seems like we've got, if we look at this thing, you can almost see, so we got sellers here. I'd say that little 46 half up to 51, right? You could see if that holds during the open. And if it does, trade it back and forth, right? If it doesn't, let it break and then see if that stop at 40 is going to hold. Okay, yes, a little distribution now, right? Yeah. Just chill out, relax, let the market open, let the large traders tell you where they are selling, right? Right now we're selling at 51. We stop selling when we come into the 47s. Let's see. Let's see who comes into the store, right? Pretend you're like a greeter at Walmart, right? You know, you're a Walmart greeter right now, right? You want to see who comes in the store. This is what we call, or this is what the marketing guys call order flow trading. But all trading is order flow trading because if there was no order flow, there'd be no trade, right? But order flow is a beautiful marketing term. We do have single prints. Thank you for reminding me. I should go draw them out. They are here. So we have a short position here, right? And we have supply above. It's going to be interesting. Now let's see what the order flow does. VWAP's down here at 77.25 watt. I just use one VWAP. Simple. Past session VWAP, wonderful. Thank you for the heads up. Now let's see where we find the bid off the open. Okay? Let's see if that 40 bid holds. Front running that stop, nice. Nice, Milo. Now you know what to look for, right? So we're kind of opening up here in no man's land. I would test these bids before I put on any size. Like say you want to buy 43, 44. Don't go hog wild. You know there's going to be a seller at 46, right? So, see, they've proven to you that now you know where the sellers are, right? They're here. They moved down from there to there. Okay? This way, you're not going to get all wound up. If you go long 43 and it starts taking out the 43 and the 42s, you know to get out of your trade. You also know to sell into strength, right? Make sure, and this is why I teach you guys, and remember 11 o'clock today, 11 o'clock we have our execution class. There you go. You're long 43, you're out at 46, right? Simple. Don't get overly greedy. You know? You found the bid, you took the trade, you sold into strength. Does everybody understand? Now that is not a trade at an edge. So Pollux. But it still worked for a couple of points. Nice work, Grain Monk. Nice work. Yeah. You're going on the fact that stop is your backup. Right? Now, when I went long 43, my stop was frankly just underneath here. I wasn't going to spend a lot of money on it. Right? I see their bids here at 41. Let's see if they sell into it or if we can even get up to 46. Right? So it's choppy now and it's not entirely clear. When it does that, I will wait to see if we can take out 77.40. There's 40. Boom, it takes it out. Okay? Now, where is the bid in these single prints? That's what I want to know, right? Let the large traders work this out, right? Let the candy drop. Exactly. Hey, Jonathan, what's going on? I am a little short biased because I am frankly looking at the position underneath us, and I think we'll have a little bit more selling. I could be wrong, but I'm looking to see where they're going to sell into it now, right? So I'm watching the offer, and I see it's moved down here. See? If we start taking out the 40s, be careful on the short side if you're short down here. See? This way you can save yourself from getting into trouble. Somewhere here, they're going to sell into it. That's what I want to look for, right? Where are they going to sell into it? Right? The 41s? There, they sold into it. Now, next candle is going to open in 16 seconds. Watch that white line at 40. Right? That's you're going to be your over under. If the market accepts over that, careful on the short side. If it stays underneath that when the next candle opens, boom. Right? Look at that. They're seeing buyers, they raise price. This is how you dissect candles in an intelligent way. So you actually know what's going on in the business. No patterns, no gobbledygook, no double talk. The seller is there, they have moved down. This is particularly useful if you're short 40 against 41, 42. All right, I'm short 39, just under 40 on a couple, and I'm just going to take them back before it rips back up. Right? So when I am short, I put my buy orders in right away. So when it does that dip, boom, I get covered. Otherwise, what happens is you end up chasing the price back up and getting stopped out and scratching. It's better if you take a couple of points, even 6 to 8 ticks, instead of screwing around because you're not at an edge, right? So you might not make as much because you're not trading at that edge. Right now you're shorting again at that 40 level because you saw the sellers come in, right? Put some 36 bids in and see if you get tapped. Because what's going to happen, there's so many people who are short that they're going to come in and start covering as soon as price goes down, right? So monitor to see where the sellers are. Monitor those sellers and make sure that if it starts to rip, that you don't get stuck. You know, holding a short position when you've lost your seller, right? Be careful, the candles are big. So when the candles are big, make sure even if you get a point and you're taking 5 or 6 contracts, buy them back like, you need to replace something that you stole, right? You're short 40 and a half, you're covering 38 and 3/4. I don't care. Just give me the win. I'll take the money, right? And I'll get out of it before it goes bad, right? The market is bid because of short covering. Exactly. Now you're cooking with gas, right? Let's see. As we keep cleaning this area up, the offer will keep moving higher. You want to be shorting into an offer that's moving lower. The problem is these candles are big. So you don't want to be shorting right at the bottom of a candle because that's where the bid is. You see? What you want to do is you want to let it go up, and where you see that they're going to sell, you short there instead of down here. Right? It's hard to do. It's easier to say. That's why you have to practice it if you're doing that kind of trading. And you got to be quick. You can't fart around, right? So I've been shorting 40, 41, covering 38, 39. Right? Those are small little piker trades, right? And if the offers keep piling up, right, I want to see more of an aggressive seller. I'd like to see a more aggressive seller, right? I'd like to hit 38 and have it go to 35. That would be great. Or even 38 and a quarter down to 36 and a half. Boom, that worked. Too bad I only took one contract. Right? Let's see if we can fold. As we get down to the singles, there will be some bids. If there's not a lot of size, it'll rotate up. If there's size, it'll fill those bids and drop down to the next price level. Right? That's trading. Right? That's just trading. Now, if it's too choppy for you, don't worry. Trading these large inventory corrections is difficult, right? You can short it in chunks. Yeah, take a couple of trades, have a coffee, relax, right? Exactly, Milo. Exactly. The short sellers are the ones who are trying to buy it back, Jonathan. Really simple, right? like your statement's good, let's simplify it, right? So the people who are short are putting buy orders in to cover. That's all it is. So the market comes down and it hits those bids and lifts, hits them and lifts. Really simple, right? All of this volume is responsive buying from the gap fill, right? From that previous day high. Sorry, I didn't have it marked off. If we stay underneath the previous day high, we will rotate down and you will be looking for a tag of VWAP, right? There you go, Milo. Now you're cooking with gas, right? So now this is an area, if we start accepting over yesterday's high, then you know you're going to be in a little bit of trouble, right? See? That's short covering. Now, somewhere here, they're going to sell into it. Where do you think they're going to sell into it? How about there? They saw some buyers. The next offer will be just at 30 and a half. Sorry, 40 and a half, not 30 and a half. What am I saying? Another nice trade that I screwed up and didn't call out is the look below and fail of the previous day low, where you buy 36, stop 34, and then sell into these 40s. I should have called that out. I was too short biased. And I missed that. That was an obvious one, right? Sometimes you're not gonna see the trade. You'll miss obvious trades. Now, we're hitting some traffic as we come into the 42s. We're gonna backfill a little bit, but I'm sensing a bid. Let's see if we can go down and hold that 39 level. 39 and a half, right? See, I told you there'd be a seller at 42. There they are. But they're not aggressive. So this is what we call a backfill. Now, a backfill means you go up, you run out of buying, you go back, and when you go back and lower price, it'll sometimes bring in buyers, right? So if these 77.40s hold, we will rotate up into the 44, 45 area. If we can't clear 42, look for us to come back down to 39. This is how you look at candles intelligently. So you don't have to memorize anything. All you need to do is know a little bit about the business. Do you see how the bottom of those candles are holding 39.5? Right? I'm long 41 and a little bit on 5. I'm selling them at 43 based off exactly what I told you guys. Right? And my last one is out at 44. I'm flat. Right? I told you the market would backfill. I bought the backfill. And I sold into strength right where I knew that they would sell. Simple. But it took me years to figure it out and work out that execution so I could do it smoothly. So I called out the trade before it happened, right? So you're buying that 39.40 level because you know it's holding that 39 bid. Why? Because it shows you the bottom of these two candles show you where the bid is. How's that for order flow software? Right? The bottom of the candles is where they stop selling. That's why you go long, you put your stop here, and boom, you sell into strength. That is the cheapest order flow software there is. All you have to do is pay attention. No gimmicks. Right? You guys in the room, did you get that? This is the kind of stuff we'll be going over in depth in the execution lab. Now that bid's starting to get filled. Right? We're starting to come under 39 now. That's why I'm not taking that same trade again. Right? If you didn't understand what I'm doing, why I took that trade, rewind this part of the YouTube and watch it again, because I explain it in depth. If we have enough people trapped short underneath yesterday's high, we will stay above 35, 36. And then we will end up rotating back up and test the open and that area of supply at 46. Okay? This is called rotation. What are we rotating? Inventory. Right? Well, we filled the gap below, right? Grain Monk, gap is filled. The upper gap is not filled. There's supply above 58. So, back underneath the overnight, the previous day high, right? You're looking now, if you're short 34, 35, stop 36, you're looking for these singles to start to fill, right? You will be front running at VWAP at 29. Short 32, covering 30 and a half. Covering 30, covering 29 and a quarter. Covering 29, I am flat. Why did I get short? Because we lost the bid at the previous day high. Took right out VWAP. Now we're underneath 27. There's still some bids. There's still some bids. We filled that short position. That's good. It's healthy. That's healthy. There's still inventory above us. Nice trade, Lewis. Nice trade. Market is doing its job exactly. If you're short, you can still stay short. We're coming into yesterday's cost basis, just under 77.23. And we're dropping in nicely. They'll stop selling and see who we can sucker into buying. Right? They will probably sell. There they are. Right? They're selling the 26s. Let's see if we can get any suckers to pay 27. Right? Almost. Almost. How did I know how to get short? Because we lost the bid at the previous day high. Right? Come into the trading syndicate, James. We'll teach you how to do this. Right? We'll teach you. Right? Give it a shot for 3 days. You get a 3-day trial. Right? If you stay, they'll give you a free pop account. Oh, just DM me. DM me and let's have a chat. Listen, It's okay to struggle, right? It's going to happen. When we first started doing this, you're all on the struggle bus, okay? Nobody just is brilliant at trading. If somebody tells you they sat down and they started trading and they started making money right off the get-go, they're completely full of shit. Okay? It's a difficult business. Take your time, right? Yeah, we'll be on at 11. These markets are going to get harder and harder to trade as we go into the fall. It's going to be very challenging, right? Now's the time this summer. If you want to learn how to trade, this is the time to learn because you'll be ready for action in October and November. These candles are big. Trading regular trading hours is difficult. If you are not consistently profitable, try trading the Globex session, right? It's a 23-hour market. So there should be some point in time where it's a little slower, where you can sit and learn your craft, right? You're going to spend more time watching than actual trading. And, don't expect to be profitable right away. It's a skill and it's frustrating, right? So kind of take it easy on yourself, right? If you told me, James, that you just started trading or you're new to trading, and you just made 50 grand today and 25 grand yesterday, and I wouldn't believe you. But if you say, you know what, I'm having a hard time, look below and fail of 27.5, ladies and gentlemen. Target is the high of yesterday. If you are long over VWAP by Freds, right, you want to be offloading the 33, 34s. Okay, long 31.5, out 33.5. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Right, quick little scalp. Right, look below and fail. Right, simple trade. If you're still long, put some offers at 36. If your offers, there's the seller. That's why I sold. Did you see the seller? They came out of the bushes and chopped your head off with a machete. Right? That's why you sell into strength. That's why I was telling you guys, if you're long, sell the 34, 35s because it's not going to get to 35. Right? Aggressive seller at 34.5. This is practical information you can use when you're trading. There's no BS. My course in candles is called No BS Candles. Right? We don't BS you. We know that there's a seller at 35. Why? Because it's yesterday's high. Everybody can see it. Everyone's going to transact there. Think of it like the Roxbury. It's the popular club. Everyone's hanging out there to sell. Who's long here? Who's long high here? Right? So our trade is look below and fail. I bought 30, sold 33. Thank you. Right? Couple of points. Simple. Right? Inventory is above us, Milo. Therefore, we have to sell into strength. It's a moral imperative. Now, if we hold the previous day high, you'll be looking at a 37 long, 36, I'd say 35 stop. Wait. Don't take it yet. Wait till it reclaims it, right? Watch the offer. Do you see how there's a seller there? We got to clean out that 35 seller. There you go. Right? Now, where's the seller going to be? Seller's going to be at 39. So if you are long 36, 37, make sure you're offered out. Right? Long 37, selling 39, selling 40, selling 41. Thank you very much. Right? Couple of points here, couple of points there. Next thing you know, you've made 15, 20 points trading the mini on a couple of contracts. Pay your bills, okay? Simple, no bullshit, excuse my language, trading. We tell you where to take the trade, the business reason for it. No pie in the sky, I'm going to make 50 points here, right? And then get into my Rolls Royce with my wife, Morgan Fairchild, and go to Beverly Hills. None of that here, okay? That's for you old guys, okay? Exactly. Take the money because everyone else is taking the money, Milo, right? Take the money, right? In this market, take the money. Greedy bastard day will return where you can hold trades longer, okay? As the market changes, right, and you develop your skill, you can hold longer. But with these huge candles, why not make 1,000 to 2,000 a day? And then you're done, right? We will work building positions and holding longer. So we can get really into detail. Nice work, Mike. Take the money and run, brother. Beautiful. Beautiful. This is just the rotation of inventory. It's the same thing. So if you have a trading method, if you have a business plan, it's got to be a simple business plan so you can execute, right? The more simple your business plan, the more clear your execution is going to be, right? So we got sellers at 42, bids at 39. Let's see if we can get these guys to pay over the open. Ah, right? Now, you got to ask yourself, how many people did we get short underneath 35? I would say from these candles, we got quite a few people short, right? So remember what I said. If we can get above the open, this is like a supply cabinet, single prints. This is like a supply cabinet for ES contracts. If we run out of supply here, we will go up here to get it and force people to pay higher, right? That's why when people say markets are going up, buyers in control, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Buyers are not in control when prices are higher. Because think about it, what buyer wants to pay more? It makes no sense. Where do they come up with this absolute nonsense? Buyers are in control when prices are higher. But you got a hole in your head? Like, seriously? Oh, yeah, I can buy it for 5. No, 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 no. I want to pay 10. Oy. All right, next half hour bar opens. Watch that low of B, right? Watch that low in B period. I want to see it come and tickle yesterday's high at 35 and a quarter. Here we go. We're dropping in nice and slow, right? Now we're finding the bid. I love Brian, but he's wrong. On that, he's wrong. Buyers are not in control. Sellers are in control. He's never been a wholesaler. It's not his fault. Think about it, David. Just use your common sense. Now, if you're long 36, 37, sell into the 39s. There's going to be a seller there, right? David, if you were, would you rather pay $5 for something or 10? If you're paying 10, you're not in control, brother. The person who's selling it to you is in control. Right? Sometimes we have to use common sense, my friends. No matter what the fancy stuff says, unfortunately, sometimes we got to use that thing between your ears, right? A little bit of old common sense, right? Yeah. It's cool what other people say. Just because they say something doesn't mean that they know what the hell they're talking about, right? It's not about control, it's about commerce, my friends. You forget that this is a business. That's why it's called a market. Now, I'm watching for bids at the previous day high. I would like another little like zip up look below and fail of that. That would be nice, right? Cost basis is what you pay for something, James. That's why what you should do, James, is DM me in the room, right? You've DM'd me already before in the room, right? I'm a little busy today, but I'll point you to some videos. Have you gone and looked at the videos that we've posted? I've done videos on cost basis, inventory. Have you looked at those videos? They're all in the library. There's tons of them. I did a 101 last week. If you buy one share of stock at $1 and you buy another share of stock at $2, now you own two shares and your cost basis is $1.50. It's as simple as that. I'm long 36, selling 38, selling 39 if they'll take it. No, they took one at 39. I got two left, long 36, one left, long 36, out at 37. Not bad. Don't spend so much time. Focus on the look below and fail. Right? After you're profitable, you can think about all these things. No, no. David, I have explained to you exactly how this works quite a few times. All you need to do is understand that the sell orders are finished. You buy this, you put your stop here, you sell here, right? Focus on the trade. Don't worry about the short sellers. They understand their own business. You don't need to worry about them. Okay? Focus. Right? Stay on track. Watch your level and execute your trade when the conditions appear. Right? If X, if price does this, then I do this. If that, if it continues, I stay long. I stay in the trade as long as the business reason holds. Now, what are the business reasons, David? It's a very strong edge. All you got to do is wait for your edge to appear, Lewis, and then execute ruthlessly. Why long 36? Because that's where the previous day high was. And I know that there's bids there. See? Now the reaction is not as strong at 36. I think we're going to come underneath it. And we're going to probably look for bids, say around 34, 33. See? But if buyers come in, the offer will lift. And you can buy it again. Stop 34. This time you might have to sell 37, 38. You're in, you're out, quick, you're done. Yeah, right. Focus on the execution. Too much analysis will cause you to be confused and execute poorly. Executing perfectly, Lewis, is a lifelong thing. You know what I compare it to? Do you know anybody who plays golf? Right? Some of these guys have been playing golf for 20, 30 years. But sometimes they go out there and they're really angry, right? They come back and I'm like, "How's golf?" And they're like, "Rah," right? Because they played horribly. Sometimes you will execute horribly. When you are executing horribly, don't risk a lot of money and learn to stop, right? Use your results to tell you if you need to stop, if you need to reevaluate, or if you could size up and push it. Of course, it's harder said than done, Lewis. If it was easy, every idiot would drive a truck up to the stock exchange, fill it with cash, and go away. It's a skill. You have to have some respect for the business, right? It has to be hard, right? If it wasn't hard, every idiot would be rich, right? But it's a skill. You got to work at it, right? So, yeah, because once you master it, right, you can make as much as your skill allows, right? Good, good. Just keep working. Keep working at it, right? Yes, that's all you need, right? So all you need to do now, James, is get into the good habits, right? So you need good habits. Then it becomes like second nature. Discipline plus repetition. You are looking at the offer when you're doing the look below and fail. So it tells you the offer is working. See, right now the offer is going down, right? You see the red line, it's going lower and lower. That means they're putting the market on sale, trying to find buyers. You don't buy until it does this. Then the offer will start to lift. You buy some and you sell into it. Get it? Don't worry. It's just repetition, right? Of course, you're struggling to execute, James, right? James, if I told you, hey, we're going to do a little cardiothoracic surgery today, and I stuck a scalpel in your hand, it might not go so well. That's why people practice, right? It's going to be difficult at first. Keep practicing. Keep putting in the reps. You got to do the reps, right? You can't bench press 300 pounds if you've never benched before, right? Because you've only done it, what, 10 times, 20 times? There you go. Simple. It's repetition, man. There's no magic. See you, Mike. Have a good one. Well done. It's going to take more than 20 or 30 times to get this. And the next thing that you're going to struggle with is you're going to start trading and it's going to go really great. And then Monday comes of the next week and you won't be able to trade your way out of a wet paper bag because you don't know how to adapt because the market has changed, right? This is all normal. You're on the right path. You're with us now, right? Yeah, just relax. Just relax and do the reps. Try and enjoy the process. It's a lot easier to trade when you're not angry. Okay? You got to enjoy the ride. Nobody wants to hear that. But you'll open up your brain and you'll enjoy the process. Now, can we stay under 27? Is it time to put it on sale and bring it back down under 27? Take your time, man. We're here. We're not going anywhere, right? These 30-minute candles are massive, right? Even the 1-minute candles are pretty damn big, right? This market is a thin market, right? It's a thin market. The candles are big, right? The war is still not over. We're still trading a wartime market, and it is not. And we are trading at all-time highs, so it's a harder trading environment, right? So when it's like that, we need you to just chill out, trade less, size down, Once you get it, you can always size up, right? There's going to be a ton of opportunity, you know? Work on your skill. It'll all come together. Trust me, when I started doing this, I was horrible at it. I had a lot of bad habits from institutional trading, right? I had no discipline, right? Because if I took a loss trading, I could just hand the loss off to one of my market makers. They'd put up 10, 15 grand, no problem, right? I would like to wait for the candle to close, right? In a perfect world, sir, I'd love to have that candle close. Sometimes in a fast market, you just got to go grab it, right? But in a perfect world, I love the candle to close. There was another look below and fail here, right? He trades pretty much the same, James. Now, that's another thing. As soon as somebody posts something in the room, don't go chasing them. Stay on track, right? What are you focused on, James? Focused on that offer, right? Don't worry about what other people are writing in the room. Focus on handling your own business. Right, brother? Stay focused. Stay focused. Right? Long off that 35, 36 again. Selling into 39s. Right? 35 is yesterday's high, James. That's why we were looking at it over and under. Look at the size of this rotation. Focus on this. You've got a big rotation. Players are now in control. Yeah, they sure are. It started out on TPO. I adapted it for candles. So we're looking for sellers at 41, 42. No, no change yet, my friend. Not yet. Not yet. We're just in a big rotation. So do you see how the seller moved out from 42 down to 41? So now they're going to go test 35 again. If it holds 35, it'll rotate back up to 39. There it is. Hello. You see, if you spend some time just watching the 1 minute candles, it'll give you the best order flow that you will ever have in your life, right? And it's cheap. Cheap is good. You don't have to spend any extra money on order flow software or tools or any of that nonsense. Just watch the offer, and you never short an offer that's moving up. You never buy an offer that's moving down. right? It's a simple business. Throw the ball, catch the ball, run with the ball. It's a very simple business. You want to sell before the sellers. So if you were long 33, 34, 35, you'd be selling 36, 37, 38. Now if you're short 39, 38, you're covering 35, 34. This is rotation. Now we're going to rotate down and hopefully come back and tickle VWAP at 31, 32. Yeah, it's cleaning up. The reason why nobody talks like this is because it's simple and I can't sell you anything. I can't sell you a special order flow indicator, right? This way you go and you learn, you watch. Soon you won't even need me. That's the goal. The goal is to make you guys all independently wealthy or at least profitable, right? So you don't need to look at anything. You know exactly the business you're going to do every day. You go, you do your business, then you go and enjoy your life, right? Today, one of my mentoring students crossed a major threshold. He became self-aware, right? It's like when the AI becomes self-aware, right? He became self-aware and he started course correcting when he was taking bad trades. He knew how to get out of them really quick and then he turned it around, right? Took a step back and then traded it and did well. So being able to course correct instead of just trading yourself into a huge hole, that's a big, big milestone. After you're done 1,000 reps, do 1,000 more, right? Do 1,000 more. It's repetition, my friend. You're building up your skill. It's like when Arnold was a bodybuilder, right? After he won the first trophy, did he stop working out? No, he just kept doing more, adding weight, adding reps, right? It's just muscle memory. It becomes work, right? You go in every day, you do the same thing. And when your setup shows itself, you take the trade and make money. When your setup's not there, you don't do anything. See? Simple, right? So just like if you were a baker, James, you'd go in every morning at 4 in the morning, right? You'd have a list of things you do. You go in, you turn on the ovens, you bring the dough out of the fridge, and then you do whatever the hell they do, right? But you have a method that you follow every morning. That builds discipline. That builds good business habits. And then you only do business when it is an advantage for you to do business. You know what I mean? And if you don't worry. We'll teach you. Just give it some time, right? All you got to do is just pay attention and just keep working, right? It'll work out. When you first start doing this, it seems impossible, right? And I had traded for 20 years before I did this. I made markets. I took companies public. I could short squeeze a stock with one hand tied behind my back, right? And I went from that to not being able to trade one contract, right? So it's humbling. Don't worry about it. Just work through it. You know, the angry guy on YouTube, David Goggins, right? A lot of trading is you got to embrace the suck, right? You've got to embrace that difficult period of learning where sometimes it feels like your head is getting split apart. Don't worry, you'll get through it. Does anybody have any questions? You know, if you want to learn how to do this and reduce the amount of pain and banging your head against the wall, we will teach you. Come to the trading syndicate, right? Yeah, you got to get out of your comfortable zone. You know, that was hard for me, getting out of my comfort zone. Right? Was not easy, right? And then admitting you're wrong quickly. That was a skill I had to develop. You know? So, we will see you guys in half an hour. Okay? Half an hour, I will put the link in the ES Live trading room. Yeah, you can't hide those bad trades, you know? No market maker to help, right? No, we teach you, right? Hang on a sec. The link will be posted. If you have time, casual scavenger, drop by in a half hour. We will break this down in depth. The session will be recorded. And I'll always be available to answer questions. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. Stay out of trouble. Don't take candy from strange market makers. We will see you in half an hour. Yep. Good stuff. See you in half an hour. Bye for now. Thank you.